Hello, listeners. Welcome to our English program podcast, Kaleidoscope. Listeners, this is the second part of our interview with Sailee Gangakhedkar. Sailee is from Pune, who is a risk consultant, a chartered accountant by profession. She currently holds a senior position in the consultancy field in an MNC. She has achieved spectacular success by completing the Ironman competition held in Barcelona, Spain in 13 hours and 23 minutes. Ironman is a world event consisting of 3.8 kilometers of swimming, 180 kilometers of cycling, and 42.2 kilometers of running. Sailee was preparing for this event for the last 2 years. If you remember, in our first part of the interview with Sailee, we focused on her fitness journey. We talked about her marathon experience as well. In this part, we will talk about her experience in Ironman competition, which was held in Barcelona, Spain. So Sailee, you told us about how you participated in a triathlon competition which was held in Panchet near Pune, which was like 1/4 of the original Ironman competition. You gained some incredible experience in it. And then again, you successfully participated in half Ironman in Kazakhstan. And then this year in January, you successfully completed Mumbai Marathon in a good time. And then in June, you successfully completed the Comrade Ultra Marathon in South Africa. The distance was 90 kilometers, which is incredible. So your physical fitness was at a great level. So did it in any way motivated you to go for the full Ironman race in Barcelona, Spain, which was happening in October? Also, please tell us about your preparation for this race.
So after Comrades, I was like, anyway, an endurance has been built up for 10, 12 hours kind of. So in this momentum only, it would be easier for me to do a full Ironman. Rather than doing it next year with a fresh, entire training again.
Yes.
So again, running was taken care of because I've been running for so long. Swimming was always, I had done a 5-kilometer swimathon last year. So even a longer distance swimming would be possible is what I thought.
Right.
So the only challenge was bike again, I had done only 90 kilometers of bike. And after last year's race, there was no other bike event I did. So I had lost touch also again. So 180 kilometers of bike was going to be challenging. So that was the only thing which I was a little worried about. But I thought 3 months I have. I mean, I'll focus more on bike and let's attempt it. I mean, that was the best possible scenario for this year. Otherwise, I would have been able to participate for Ironman only next year because these events typically, in better countries like Europe, they are happening only from June to October kind of. Otherwise, then it's winter season for them.
Right.
So those events don't really happen until May at least.
Okay.
So then it would have been a long gap again for me. So again, I got charged up. I was like, I took some break after Comrades for 2 weeks and then I
completely
discussed with my coach that I want to do this and since I did not have a lot of injuries after Comrades, then it was possible as well. So took up this challenge.
Okay.
And that's how my full Ironman training journey started as such.
So then your journey from June till October started for the
correct.
great Ironman competition. So how was it? Like you trained with the same team with Motivate?
Yes, Motivate. Yes, I trained with the same coach. Coach Atul Godbole is a very famous coach for running and very good for running activities and especially Comrades. I'd heard a lot about him.
Okay.
My coach is also Ironman himself. He has completed Ironman and many marathons and he's absolutely great runner as well. So I started with the training. Training journey was on track. I mean, it was very hectic again because 8 sessions of either swim, bike, that kind of a combination with at least three strength training sessions. My new project was at full swing. And a lot of, juggling around. So, but completely focused on these 2 activities only. So I had to cut off on my, the social life completely probably. But I had a big goal in front of me. So, and tremendous support from family again. So, you have to sacrifice a lot of other social events and literally say no to them. I mean, they do little bit. I mean, they're quite annoyed and disappointed, but you try and help them, explain that you have some different goal for this year. So, but people support. I mean, a family is always supported. So somehow the training went well for all 3 months.
So Ironman competition swimming is in which waters? Like, is it lake,
Yeah,
ocean,
so
or?
there are two options in that. One is a lake water, which is
Okay.
an open water kind of a swim. A few countries will have a good lake and that facility available. And sometimes it's an ocean, you know, where
Ocean.
cities there are which are close to the, I mean, you know, have an ocean. Then the swim is usually in the ocean itself, which was a challenge for me, which I did not realize because the entire training was going to take place in the monsoon season, and unfortunately the oceans or the sea we have near Pune were all closed.
Yes.
So Goa and Mumbai are two options, and both of them were close due to monsoon season. And the earliest I could have had tried it was somewhere around mid-September, which was just 15 days before my race. So I was eagerly waiting to, you know, get some opportunity to at least try it once, and I got an opportunity to go to Goa in the second week of September. So that was the first time I tried an ocean swim, like a proper swim as such. And to my surprise, I had some motion sickness, kind of a dizziness feeling during that practice. And I was like totally disappointed and devastated that, you know, what is this? This was something completely, like I said, you know, one of the uncertainties you have in triathlons or an Ironman race, that, you know, there is a challenge. Now you have to face it. Race is going to be there in 15 days. So what do you do? So again, I mean, sitting back or getting, you know, just worrying about it was not going to help. So I started working on solutions. So started talking with people who have done a lot of Ironmans, ocean and in ocean. So, you know, their experiences, whether they do something about it, whether they have faced such a challenge. So majority of athletes told me that they have not really faced that kind of an experience. So their experiences were different, like choppy water, turbulent water, so difficult to swim, or maybe a jellyfish kind of an issue. But this is something very different. So then I realized that I always have a motion sickness problem in car as well, or you know, on the fun rides in the fun park. So that is something related to that probably. So I decided, I mean, anyway I don't have a choice, so let's go for it. And for the salty water and you know, the dizziness which was coming because of salty, I started having over salted water every day in the morning to just get myself used to it, you know, my body used to that kind of a taste every day. So until I left for my race, I was taking it every day. And I went for the race. I mean, there was no choice and I had to fight it out. So packing and traveling for a Ironman race is also a big challenge because, you know, you have to carry all the stuff for all three activities, and you have to carry your bike in a bike bag. So that also you need to carry with you. So it's again a totally different challenge and experience that you have to, you know, pack, travel with everything, and, you know, do everything on your own. I mean, of course, people help. Other athletes would help, you know, assembling a bike or disassembling it or any other issues. But at the end of the day, you have to be prepared to be on your own, you know. So great experience again, and it builds up your confidence and it gives you a different kind of a, you know, motivation, energy, confidence again. So race was the same, like in 3-4 days. I went 3-4 days in advance to, you know, usually you need to go 3-2 days in advance to get acclimatized to the weather, etc., know the track, know the route, etc. And race day, everything was on track. Once I went there, I was completely, you know, came out of the other, you know, daily routine, like my work stress, what is happening at home. I am just completely out of all those things, and I'm completely in the race, you know, tempo or that zone kind of. So I was all set and prepared for the race as such. It was very hot in Barcelona actually during those days, even today. So I think there's a heat wave happening in Spain since quite a few months, and we heard from the local people from there that, you know, it's been one of the hottest, rather the hottest season for them as well. So pretty hot. So that was going to be a little bit challenged during the daytime when the bike would be there. And the sun rises at 7:45, quite late. So the race also starts pretty late at 7:30, 8 o'clock. And our race almost started around 8:30. So it was going to start late. So the entire race was going to be in that hot kind of a part of the day. So I was prepared for it. I usually have a headache in, you know, a lot of sun. So carried my small tablets also with me just in case of emergency.
Right.
So that's how, but swim like went well in the sense I did not have that motion sickness issue as such, but the water was extremely choppy. It was very turbulent, but I managed to sail through it somehow with, there was no choice again. I mean,
Right.
I tried waiting and halting for a few moments to just, find out the correct. So you need to sight the buoys for sighting the correct path, and then you keep on going ahead. But because of the choppy waters, I was not able to sight the buoy correctly. But then you just go with the flow, along
Was
with
it
the other
crowded?
athletes. Yeah, it was very crowded. So you have to make your way through the crowd. And sometimes you're hit with somebody's leg, somebody's hand. So that happens during the race. But managed to complete it in a decent time of 1 hour 18 minutes. And then you have those transitions in between where you move from swim to bike.
Okay.
You have to quickly change, quickly take the gear for bike, take your bike and then start. So, I mean, that transition time is also counted in your total time. So, longer you take, the later you finish the race that way.
So were you dizzy?
No, fortunately not.
Okay.
I wasn't dizzy. I was very exhausted. I was quite tired. But like I said, swimming has always been my strong point.
So this was a
And,
good heads up.
Yes, but again, ocean was something which I wouldn't be probably attempting so frequently, or at least not for a full Ironman distance maybe. So there were many disqualifications in this race for swimming leg because it was quite difficult, and there were many people who were not able to complete it, especially the new swimmers, who were not really used to it. And that's how the swimming leg got completed.
yes.
Then I started with my bike.
Bike,
I did really well. Everything went well, and it was a little bit rolling kind of a route, which some slopes and steeps in between, but pretty much good route. So I managed to complete that in 6 hours 47 minutes. And after
How was
that,
the atmosphere?
it was very hot, and I mean, in terms of crowd and all, there was some crowd in the main city area, but when we were going ahead, but the aid stations and the entire support was very good.
Very good.
We got all water or electrolytes or any other required needs which we need. That was all well placed, etc. So all the support was good, and managed to complete the bike leg good. So that gave me a lot of confidence because I was most worried about the bike leg. But I got cramps, a little bit of cramps in my legs, and that affected my run leg. And the goof up which happened is I forgot to take my salt tabs. So usually you need to take salt tabs for the cramps. Okay, which I took during my bike leg entirely. But for the run leg during the transition, I missed to take that small pouch. So, I mean, once I was on the track, there was nothing else I could do. I was hoping that salt would be available at the aid station, but unfortunately they do not keep salt as such. But they were keeping, like lemon and all other stuff, other hydration, nutrition, and ice was there. So luckily, at least ice was there, and I was continuously icing my cramped legs and moving forward. But then I had to wait at every aid station to ice it and move forward. That's how I completed my entire 42 kilometers of run. So not in a very great time, but again below 5 hours. So it was a good time. But because I was strong at running, I had that expectation of completing it in 4 hours 30 minutes probably. I mean, I was expecting or hoping my bike run leg would be much faster and much better, than the bike. But again, I mean, some of the other uncertainties or challenges will happen, and this was the least, I would say. I mean, it was much better than something to go wrong in bike probably.
So you completed the entire race in 13 hours
23 minutes, and
which is a record, I think.
So again, amongst probably top 3 or 4 in Indian women category.
Wow, that's a huge achievement.
Yes, and I mean overall, not in the age, in my age category, I would be the fastest probably. Overall age category, I mean overall women, I would be amongst top 5, I would say, because there are no numbers available. Not very sure, but as of what I have heard and compared with other women athletes. So something completely, victorious moment for me and a dream come true. And when you're ending an Ironman race, the person who is conducting the race and the overall event, every person who finishes, they are calling out in loud and clear voice, now you are an Ironman. So I mean, those are the golden words which every triathlete is actually waiting for. And it's a completely, I mean, even right now I'm getting goosebumps just listening to those words. So That was an absolutely stunning moment of my life. I was so happy. I was so tired, but still I was jumping towards the finish line, and extremely happy. And finally, all my dream had come true.
Wow.
So that was about it. Yes.
This was what you were training for.
Yes, for so many months, and I dreamed about it since last year when I did my half
A
Ironman.
huge achievement.
Yes.
So we talked about the mental aspect. Like
Yes.
what was going on in your mind for those 13 hours and 23 minutes? Were there any thoughts that creeped in that you did not want? Or was there like in films that we see a flashback of that entire training process or something like that? And like for preparing for the competition, the physical or the mental, which is the most difficult aspect of Ironman, like competitions like Ironman, or are they both like equally difficult?
Yeah, right. So I remember one very particular thing about the races at the starting of the race, when the race director was again, there's a good music going on in the background, and they're charging up all the athletes that, this is the moment you were waiting for, and this is your day, and all the motivation talk. So that time, the entire training session really, flashed in front of me, like, I've been training for this for so long, and this is the day, and this is my chance to actually, make the most of it, prove myself, and achieve something for myself more than, anybody else. So that was the thought at the beginning. And once I am in the race zone, then I am completely at it. I mean, I'm completely focused. I just focus on the race, the sport, the activity, not to think about anything else. Just think about your race, your hydration, your nutrition, what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do, eat after every whatever intervals. So you need to eat and hydrate yourself after every 45 minutes, after every 1 hour. So you need to keep
So that
tab
presence
on
of
that.
mind needs
That
to be there.
needs to be there.
You can't zone out. Like,
Exactly, and not to go very fast, not to go very slow. So keep a tab on the pace,
you
etc.
had conversations with yourself, motivated yourself, or like talks with yourself.
Towards the end of the swim leg, I was pretty exhausted because the water was turbulent and it was a difficult swim. So I was just telling myself, come on, you have to do this. I mean, it's just maybe probably 1,000 meters more, 1,500 meters more, 500 meters more. Just go, keep on doing it. Don't think about anything that way. So of course you keep on conversing with yourself. And even during the bike leg, like there were 3 loops of 60 kilometers. 180. So after first 2 loops, the third loop was going to be difficult. It was like scorching heat, pretty exhausted. My head had started aching. So at one of the stops, I took the medicine also. And so you have to keep on motivating yourself. It's just the last loop, just the last steep, just the last 8 stations. So you keep on giving mini targets to yourself, and you keep on moving ahead that way. And to answer to your second question, physical strength or physical training happens in your training period completely. So you are trained in your training period. If
there
you
is someone to train you for that.
Yeah, exactly. And if you miss on it, then you're not really confident on the race. But probably you still attempt it. But then you're aware that maybe you won't get the kind of timing you want, etc. So if something is missing on the training aspect only, then it's going to be challenging, of course, and then you're prepared for it mentally also. But if your training goes well and you are on your race day, it's all about your mental game, like how is your state of your mind, how focused you are, how positive you are. If you keep on thinking about negatives and something will go wrong, then it could be challenging. Or if somebody is scared about water and they keep on thinking about it, sometimes you lose it. But for me, the tricky thing was about bike. I was always worried that something should not happen to the bike. There should not be any puncture, because then you lose that moment.
Right.
And you're going to lose that half an hour straight away or something.
That anxiety
so
was
that
there.
I was always worried of, and I was just telling myself not to think about it, think about it. Just keep on biking. So yes, race day is more of a mental game, and before race, it's all about your training and your determination, and of course, I mean, the consistency and dedication, discipline which you need. So that kind of mental game is always there, which needs on a daily basis. You need to motivate yourself.
Great. I think like we underplayed the segment of preparation, underplayed in the sense that as professional triathletes, competing is a job for them. So finding time to train isn't as difficult as it is for an amateur triathlete. So how did you manage to juggle raising a family, a career, friends with the training and the preparation? Like,
Yeah, so managing work life along with the fitness training is a difficult task for sure. But like I said, I mean, if you're passionate about something, you automatically tend to spare some time for it. But yeah, doing an event like Ironman is a whole together different task, and you need tremendous support from your family members, your friends, everybody. So, I mean, somewhere since I was into this activity since last 4 5 years, my family members and friends were already aware about it, and they had kind of started supporting me for it. They knew I was good at it, and was something I wanted to do always, very close to my heart. So they usually had already started supporting. More of the support I needed from my immediate family members, my son and my husband, and they have been a tremendous support. My son also, since I mean, he's as a grown-up boy, but still he's quite small. But the kind of maturity he's always shown, and when I've always explained him the importance of these activities for me, or even himself. He's also into sports, so he understands. And I mean, when I explain him, he understands. So it's probably if for a few weekends I'm not there for some activities which they are doing, I miss on a lot of social events or movies sometimes, or even going for a coffee late night, because I have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning every weekend. So you do need to miss out such events, but like I said, once you explain them, and they already know about your journey and the goal you are having in mind, they do support. And it's all about time management again. You need to prioritize and focus on the important activities during the day. So Monday to Friday, it's only fitness and work. And over a period of time, I've managed to take care of things at home, which I earlier used to spend a lot of time at. My weekends I used to just spend at cleaning the house, or looking at some arrangement which is required. So slowly, your priorities change, so you come out of it and you delegate things. So things at home which need to be taken care of have all been kind of delegated, and I take help of my mates to do things. So I don't spend a lot of time in that now. And somewhere you can't have everything, so you need to lose, or rather give up on certain things. You're not going to have a perfect house when you're going to spend your weekends for fitness. So you won't have that perfect house.
So Sailee, you have completed Ironman. So what next? Like, because Ironman is the peak. So where to?
So I think this is just the beginning, I would say again, because I have not been into this pretty long, but been fortunate to probably, do many important and major events in just the first 2 years.
So what are your personal goals like after this?
Yeah, so this is a long journey. There are many more, major events and peaks to be achieved, I would say. So this is just the first Ironman. I would like to continue these races, at different locations or events, and would like to better my timing at it. So 13 hours 23 is a good timing, but like I have seen the other athletes world over now, like I said, 11 hours is also pretty comfortable and easy timing for them. So not necessarily 11, but I would like to gradually improve my timing over a period of time. So maybe at least once or twice a year would like to continue with Ironman races. And parallelly, since I'm doing marathon also, so sub 4 is what I've done. So my next target would be to reach somewhere around first. So that's a very, very, a very, very distant target. But the very near target would be somewhere around 3:30 maybe first, and then go for a sub 3. It would be a definitely very, very long journey, because every minute is difficult, after 3:30 probably. So there is a particular event, world major. So in marathons, there are world majors. So there are 6 world majors in globally, which are well known, recognized, and after you complete all 6, you get that medal of world major. So that would be my next long term target as such, because it will take some time to complete all 6. But within that, there is one marathon called Boston, where you have to qualify, and then only you are selected in that race. So that is again age category wise. So for my age, there is a particular distance, there is a particular timing which I need to complete the marathon in to qualify for that race. So that also would be my next target for next year at least. Probably I will definitely attempt doing that once. And of course, managing my office and my home life and other priorities whenever it's possible. But yes, now that confidence and that basic level of fitness has been created. So would be easier for me to, just with 2-3 months of training would be able to manage. And training never stops. Training continues. It's a part and parcel of my life now. I mean, my day goes better only when I have a workout in the morning. And rest days are there, which are required, but majority part of my, so today morning also I had my training, fitness, and then only I start my day.
Wow.
Yes.
It has been a pleasure talking to you, Sailee.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. Few takeaways for me from this interview.
Okay, great.
They have been it's never too late. We can start at any age.
Yes.
And health is actually a priority. It should be a priority. And through that,
Definitely.
you need to be able to put on some personal goals as well in our fitness
Right.
journey. And another thing that I will remember from our interview is to go one step ahead. Just don't stop at your hobby.
Yes,
You just
right.
need to learn it professionally. Maybe try joining a class, take advice from gurus, and try to research on whatever that you are doing.
Right,
So
always
that is really great takeaways for me from this interview. And I
Great.
hope our listeners will also be motivated and they start running. So
Great.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gaurav. It's all been my pleasure and very happy to share my experience and my fitness journey. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
you.